perception on the universe compared to two separate human languages. Throughout the film, Louise starts to understand the language more and more until ultimately,
Are you dreaming in their language?
she experiences confusing flashbacks more and more frequently as she starts understanding the language more. In this way, the movie is showing us an extreme case of linguistic relativity where she starts to perceive time as the heptapods do. Wait, isn't time constant? Although there's many discussions about time in relation to physics and other scientific realms, it's clear that the way that we perceive time is not absolute and highly flawed as measurement. Many scientists are subscribing to the notion that time does not exist as a fourth dimension, as often mentioned in many movies. Instead, time should be considered the numerical order of material change. The way the material world acts is a lot different than the way we perceive it. Our perception is less measurable and unreliable when compared to more empirical tests. An example of this can be observed with the use of depressants and stimulants. The level of dopamine or similar neurotransmitter activities in the brain may be responsible for the overestimation of time humans feel on stimulants, like caffeine, and the underestimation of time on depressants, like alcohol. To take this a step further, imagine that time does not exist outside of your brain.
In this universe, we process time linearly, forward. But outside of our space-time, from what would be a fourth dimensional perspective, time wouldn't exist.
That's the perception the heptapods in Arrival live in. Through learning their language, which is timeless in form, Louise slowly starts to perceive her whole life as timeless. This leads to one very huge question. If you knew how your life was going to happen, would you change it? This question dives into the themes of determinism and the existence of free will. Do we really have control over the choices we make, or are they predetermined by an incredibly complex series of events prior to making that choice? Arrival seems to point towards a less deterministic outcome. Although Louise chooses not to change the natural course of her life, it is portrayed very much as a choice that she decides to make. I won't spoil everything, but the choice she's making is a very, very hard choice, specifically for her. It's where a lot of the emotional tension in the movie comes in. It dives into some deeper existential philosophies, which are much better explained in these videos